my continuation of my breast cancer story from January of 2020. Once the doctor confirmed that I had 2 tumors in my right breast, I then was scheduled to see 3 doctors. I needed to meet with a team of specialists. I had a nurse navigator who was absolutely fantastic because I had never done any of this before. They walked me through this process. I got a big binder and paperwork and how to go about my beginnings to start to navigate this procedure and this process. From there, I called a naturopathic specialist that I know, and I said, okay, guys, I have breast cancer. I need some tools, and how am I going to go forward to get healthy from the time I was diagnosed until the time I was meeting the surgeons, which was 22 days. I found a program where I could eat low glycemic index eating foods, all healthy foods that come from the ground, no preservatives, no processed foods. I did the best I could to stay away from sugar. I started taking 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. Now, this is me. I'm not saying you have to do this. I don't know how your body's going to tolerate this. But what I did through this program, which I then became a coach for, I knew then I could help other people. I shed 6.5 inches in my waist, 14 pounds, and because of what I was doing, I had the tumors soft in my breast. But because of insurance, I could not have another mammogram done. So, when I walked back into the office, I was terrified. It's okay to have fear. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to feel like you're almost in a shell of a body, not knowing how to act, how to respond. You're losing sleep and you got all this stuff going on in your brain. That's okay to feel that way. So just a reminder for anybody who finds this video on YouTube. Lots of feelings happen when you get a diagnosis as scary as this. That's why I'm making this video, to let you know it's okay to feel multiple different feelings and of all these emotions rattling around in here. So, going forward, I walked into the doctor's office that day to meet a team of physicians. I had also started making arrangements to see a plastic surgeon. I was very out of my box, very, very out of my comfort zone. But when this started, I was just turning 52 years old, 3 weeks after my diagnosis. So instead of having the double mastectomy and saying I'm done, I thought, okay, well, maybe I'll do the rebuild and maybe I'll have them give me a new breast. But I wasn't going to do it with cadaver parts. I wasn't going to have any foreign objects put into my body and then have it later rejected to have another surgery. I basically told the doctors, you have one shot at this. Please make it good and make it count. So when I walked into the surgeon's office with notebooks in hand, I had one of my best friends on speakerphone, and I had one of my children on speakerphone as well. We were taking notes, and we were starting to map out exactly the steps that needed to be taken for me to go forward with getting the surgery lined up, how it was going to go, what was needed, and so on and so forth. When I first got there, the doctors looked at me and said, "What did you do? You look amazing, but I hope you have enough skin in your abdomen for the surgery because you've lost so many inches. And did you do it safely?" And I said, yes. I did it safely. I got myself healthy through this crazy process. And he said, if I wouldn't know it, I wouldn't know that you were sick with cancer. My thought was, I am going to beat this. I walked in and said, I am going to beat this. This is how it's going to go. This is what I'm doing for my body from the wellness from the inside out. I want to beat this. So therefore, I've cut out all the garbage. And they were supportive. Take action to be your own advocate. Know what your body's telling you and tell the doctors, this is what I want to do. Now, was it scary? Very, very scary. Very, very scary. And then I got a call. The end of February, right after I came back from a vacation in Florida, that said, hey, we set up the surgery, ready to go. And I had like 3 days to prepare. More fear. Going forward, the doctors walked in that morning and said, hey, guess what? You have a really bad hernia in your belly button. So are you okay if your belly button disappears? What are you going to do? It was the morning of the surgery. I said, okay, which I had no idea, again, that I had a hernia in my belly button. Go figure. So, again, I want to help you guys really help you through this process because it's scary. And in the same token, I learned a lot through this process as well. I'm an educator by trade. So March 5th of 2020, I went and had the procedure done. It was a 9-hour surgery. They removed my right breast. They took the tumors out. Then they went under my arm here, and they ended up taking some lymph nodes out as well, which the couple days after the surgery, my surgeon came, and my surgeon's golden, he's amazing, and said, I am sad because I don't want to have to tell you this, but you have 4 lymph nodes that were affected. 1 has a lot of cancer in it. 3 are sprinkled with cancer. Therefore, you're going to have to do treatment. And then I lost it. I've had the surgery. I'm sore. I'm miserable. I'm exhausted. And that's when I started to cry. And it was a very long, well overdue cry. So don't forget to cry. Make sure you have a great support network. Make sure you can ask questions to the right people. If you need to kick and scream and hoot and holler because you're angry and you're scared, that's okay. So, let the healing begin. It ended up being a 9-hour surgery. The recovery, I'm not going to sugarcoat that one bit. The recovery wasn't fun. I came home, so this was Thursday, March 5th. I came home the following Tuesday. Friday night that same week, the COVID lockdown happened. And the whole world shut down. So, not only did I have all this healing to do, but I then was hoping that I could still get the treatment that I needed. The chemotherapy came off the table, and I prayed on that, and I prayed on that, and I prayed on that, but they did say I still needed radiation, but I had so much healing to do that I couldn't even start that till summer. I still was able to go to the doctor's office for my checkups, but it was very weird, as everybody had a weird experience during the lockdown. But that being said, I didn't have a lot of physical therapy. I didn't have the breast cancer Wednesday night groups I was supposed to go to got canceled. And I had to get my mind busy because I'm a teacher and schools were closed. We were online. We did do a Facebook Live classroom. But being an educator, when school closed, I really had to wrap my head around something positive. So if you are going through this process, if you're just starting, if you're in the middle or at the end, find something that makes you happy. Put your feet on the ground every day, even if it's hard. Get that hard stuff out of the way first. And take a deep breath, give it to God, and ask Him to take you through this journey. The one other thing I can totally suggest to you is changing what you're putting into your body. Lower the sugar intake. If you can, go cold turkey on it. Sugar is gasoline for cancer and for disease. And everything starts in the digestive tract. Everything. Do the best you can to eat a lot of veggies. The fruit. Consider looking more towards a Mediterranean style eating habits. If you need help on this journey, please reach out to me if you see this video and when you see this video. Advocate for yourself. That's number one. And the more positive you are about your journey, the better your journey will turn out. You must think positive. You must find a positive way to get through the crazy journey that you have embarked on. Meditation music, Tibetan sound bowls, dance in your living room, scream at the top of your lungs. I don't care what it is, but make sure that you have a positive mindset going in and a positive mindset going through this process. It will help you tremendously. Have you come out of this, God willing, on the other side of this with success. Going forward, I had 5 weeks of radiation that I started the beginning of June of 2020. I completed radiation August 5th of 2020. That whole process scared the absolute hell out of me for lots of reasons. Both of my parents also had cancer many years back. After they went through treatment, now I'm not saying this is going to happen to anybody, but it was one of my fears because of family and history and all that crap. Again, I'm not going to sugarcoat this because this is a scary journey to go through. Both of my parents, my dad was halfway through his chemotherapy. My mom had completed her therapy for her cancers. They both ended up with heart problems and had triple bypass surgeries. That was my fear going into this. My one nurse at the hospital, she knew it. We talked about it all the time. My very first day that I walked into radiation, I literally looked at my nurse and I started crying. Because it was my biggest fear ever of leaving my family behind. Or having something like this go on like it did with my parents. The staff in the radiation department was absolutely astounding. They talked me through this. We talked positive about things. We started a dialogue and a conversation every day of positivity. And it went good. It was still scary. And August, through the process, now everybody's body is different. I wasn't knocked out tired to the point where I had to go home and take a nap, but that may not be your situation. I don't know. I did go home and rest with my dog. And when I was able to, I was walking. I was trying to at least I tried to walk about a half a block every day during treatment, depending on how I was feeling. When I finally worked myself up to a decent pace, It was baby steps. I did about a half mile, I think, my first time, and every day I just said, I've got to stay healthy, because the more you move, the better you feel. I didn't do too badly with my skin burning, because I was actually drinking what we call an ultimate aloe juice to keep my B complexes right in my digestive system. So I had one mark here on my clavicle that I had one small, I don't really want to say a burn mark, but kind of, but it never broke open because I was taking care of it with some ointment and some lotions and things like that. Why am I telling you this? We're all different. We're all different. The cleaner you eat during this process of treatment, the better you'll feel. I know with chemotherapy, it might be completely different. August 4th, I believe it was, of 2020, I was able to ring the bell. And they said that my treatment was done. And then no matter what I did, I had to be very diligent about coming to see them every 6 months, which I did. And going back in and seeing the doctors and things like that was still a little nerve-wracking, but it was really weird the day that I left the hospital after radiation when I rang the bell, because I had spent so much time with these people that even though I was very super grateful for being done and cancer-free, it was a very almost kind of a weird, lonely feeling, because you got to know these people that were taking care of you so well. But going forward, again, do the best you can to get adequate rest. Sleep is huge. Eat clean if you're able to. Do the best you can to put the sugary, processed garbage food away. Now, I did get back in a little bit with the sugars, and it's come back badly to come get me a little. It's really hurting me today. Since my surgery 4 years ago, I've had a lot go on. I've recently moved. I've done a lot of bigger things, but my stomach, where my surgery was, hasn't been 100% right. So then I actually went to see a doctor, had it checked out, had a CT scan. This was just yesterday. Yes, it was yesterday. I got a call back from the doctors saying they did find a lesion on my liver and a tiny little spot on my spine. I am hell-bent. It's going to be nothing, and more nothing. But I do have to have a liver biopsy done in 3 days. Today is April 9th. Today's April 20th, so I'm going in on Friday morning to make sure it's nothing. Sugar is poison. One of my good friends and one of my mentors has always said to us during her trainings, sugar is more toxic to your liver than anything else, and to stop. So, my new journey is to stop. Stop the sugar. Stop the sugar. Stop the sugar. Friday will turn out just fine. I've told my doctors many, many times over, I'm never going down this road again. And thank you for your help. So again, I made this video for anybody that is not feeling 100% right, knowing your body and saying something could be up. For those who have gotten a diagnosis of breast cancer and those who are starting their journey for surgery and treatment. I pray to God every day that this video will help you going forward. I'm doing God's work. I was always told, tell your story, tell your story, tell your story to help other people. Tonight was the night that I told my story. If you need to reach out to me, I'm going to give you my phone number. Because if you need an ear and you need someone to speak to that's been down this road, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. If you find me on Facebook, it's under Renee, KLUMB, and then BRANDT. If you need to reach out, find me and use the tools I gave you tonight on your journey. God bless, and I hope this story helps you going forward.